Michael, we are reversing 30 years of globalisation and taking advantage of these unprecedented falls in immigration thanks to this Home Secretary and training our own. Whether it's through our Health and Social Care Academy, our Civil Engineering Academy, our Centre of Excellence for Welding or our Nuclear Trades Academy. Does the Secretary of State agree with me that rather than seeing this as an economic threat, falling immigration is an economic opportunity to train our own?
Home Secretary.
My honourable friend is absolutely right. It is imperative at a point where we have over 1 million young people not in employment, education or training that we do not make progress in this area. We would be letting our young people down if we do not take this opportunity to make sure that we are investing in our domestic skills workforce. This is a cross-government priority and the Home Office is playing its full part.
Shadow Minister Katie Lamb.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. The latest estimates indicate that 627,000 non-EU migrants, mostly from low-income countries, came to the UK between December 2024 and December 2025. Meanwhile, 61,000 Brits aged 16 to 24 left the UK, as did another 65,000 aged 25 to 34. In recent years, for every young Briton who has been employed, 27 young migrants from outside the EU have also joined the workforce. Does the Home Secretary accept that mass migration has wrecked economic opportunity for young people? And how will that inform any changes she makes to the immigration rules when almost 2/3 of 1 million non-EU migrants still came to this country last year?
Secretary.
Oh, Mr Speaker, the employment statistic that she has just used runs from January 2020 to December 2025, so I congratulate her on exposing the track record of the Tory government.
Douglas McAllister.
Question number 2, please, Mr Speaker.
Minister.
There were several large-scale events in London on the 16th of May, Unite the Kingdom being one of them, and I had several briefings with the Met, who took a robust approach to the Unite the Kingdom rally, and I was in the control room on the 16th of May to see the operation for myself.
Douglas McAllister.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. What happens in our capital city has a knock-on effect across our entire country. My West and Bartonshire constituent, Lindsay, contacted me to express her deep concern and shock at the abhorrent displays at the Unite the Kingdom rally. Participants openly incited racial hatred with inflammatory speeches, but more significantly, provocative Islamophobic stunts involving mocking the religious dress of Muslim women. I understand those responsible were not arrested, and I share my constituents' disgust. Can I ask the Minister if she is satisfied with the Metropolitan Police response and what future action will be considered to prevent a reoccurrence?
Minister.
I'd say to my honourable friend that the Metropolitan Police Service maintained public order and kept Londoners safe on a day of very unprecedented large-scale events. 43 arrests were made at the United Kingdom rally and the Nakba 78 March for Palestine, and indeed in advance 11 foreign nationals were prevented from entering the UK to speak at the event and prevented by the Met from broadcasting into the event. So of course I understand the concerns that his constituent is raising, but I think the Metropolitan Police with their 4,000 officers on that day did a very good job.
Shukar Adam.
Mr Speaker, many in the Muslim community are feeling bewildered, besieged and absolutely beleaguered. When they exercise their democratic right to vote, and if the results don't go a certain way, they are accused of sectarianism. When they take to the streets to protest peacefully against a genocide, they are accused of hate marches, all the while witnessing not one but 2 Unite the Kingdom marches where there are open calls for their expulsion from this country with apparent indifference. So can I ask the Home Secretary, what steps is she taking to protect this community from further alienation, and what message does she send to those who invite hatred against them?
Minister.
I'd say this government, of course, is committed to tackling all forms of hate crime, including anti-Muslim hostility, and we are actively seeking to ensure the safety and protection of all individuals and communities. The UK has a proud tradition of racial and religious tolerance within the law, and this government is absolutely committed to building a strong and integrated society that I think we all want to see.
Michelle McCann.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Last week I met with one of my constituents who had faced horrible racist abuse on the train home by those who had been on the Unite the Kingdom rally. As someone of mixed white and Middle Eastern heritage, she told me that for the first time she felt scared in her own country. Does the Minister agree with me that we have a responsibility to tackle racial divisions across our country and not ignite them? And that when the leader of Reform UK takes to the airways in the aftermath of heightened racial tensions to tell the public they must react with pure, cold rage, it is people like my constituents who pay the price?
Minister.
Can I thank my honourable friend, and I think the story of her constituent will not be the only one that we hear and that we know about. I noticed that Reform are very quick to slam into the TV stations as soon as something occurs, but they don't then come to this place to debate it in the normal way. Members of this House and beyond have a critical role to play in building the strong and integrated society that we all want to see, one not fuelled by hatred and division.
Mr. Smart.
Mr. Speaker, the Minister, I think, speaks for the whole House in thanking the Metropolitan Police for policing riots and protests that go beyond the realms of what's legally appropriate or acceptable. And that should happen to everybody, whatever the subject of their protest. I wonder if she agrees with me, though, that the rules regarding donations to fund these rallies, which one of the organisers, Stephen Yaxley-Lennon, has thanked his donors for, he's a prominent member of a political party, the rules should apply to him as much as anybody involved in politics about declaring those donations and the transparency that comes with the expectation of this House and my Hazel Grove constituents. Does she agree with me that anybody receiving money from domestic or foreign sources should declare them?
I'm not quite sure it fits in with policing of Unite, though. That's the trouble. Very good question, but not for today. Luke Charlton.
Mr. Speaker, several of my constituents have had their identity stolen with devastating consequences. Question number 3. I do apologise.
Number 3.
Mr. Speaker, we've launched a new £250 million fraud strategy focused on preventing fraud, protecting victims and strengthening enforcement. We're working closely with the City of London Police to establish referral routes so identity fraud victims can access identity repair services, and we will continue to develop guidance, tools and partnerships to help victims recover quickly and reduce repeat harm.
Luke Charlton.
The Minister for that answer. And several of my constituents have had their identity stolen, leading to devastating consequences. A serving member of our armed forces had his house purchase delayed after his credit file was risked. And too often we see identity theft is been bundled into other offences like computer misuse and not pursued at all. And so, having been a counter-fraud specialist, I know how widespread this has become. So will my right honourable friend meet me and campaigners to discuss the case for how identity fraud should become a standalone offence?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful to my honourable friend who speaks with real authority on these matters. He will know that the theft of personal information is already criminalised under legislation including the Fraud Act of 2006, the Computer Misuse Act of 1999 and the Data Protection Act of 2018. But to ensure these laws remain effective, we commissioned the independent review of disclosures and fraud offences, and the review has now been submitted its final report to government and will be published shortly. We will consider its findings carefully, including what further action may be needed to strengthen our response to identity fraud. I'm sure that the noble Lord Hanson would happily meet with my honourable friend.
Gregory Stafford.